What's up, everybody? You're back. We're back. He's back. I'm back. It's the Unknown Comic Book Podcast, and you can tell what we're about to talk about today. I hope you all are doing well in comic book land. It's your boy Marz, aka Marlon Beardo, the Bearded Weirdo, and I wouldn't be able to do this show without my partner in crime. He's the number one Ninja Turtle fan in the entire world. You know him, the incomparable John E. Raps. What's
Ninja,
up, brother? How the hell
Ninja,
are you doing?
Raps, Ninja, Raps, go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go. TURTLE power, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I think we need
to hear that, and then we'll do a mashup of it.
We need to do a remix on the next Johnny Raps project. Marz and Raps remix the Turtle song. It's coming to a store, a streaming platform near you. If you want it, you can hit the like, you can hit the comment, subscribe, leave some words. We're going to make it happen for you, man. But you know what we're talking about. Mutant Mayhem, baby. You can read a little scrolling here. We've been so excited. It took us a little time to get this together for you guys, but we've been so excited to talk about this. I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan, and the only person in the world that I know that's a bigger Ninja Turtle fan is my co-host, man. So first of all, how the hell have you been since our last episode?
Oh, man, I'm chilling.
I love to hear it, man.
And it's, just a lot of good content out there these days.
It's a ton of good content, but maybe none better than the most recent Ninja Turtle movie, man. I loved it. We're going to talk about it. But before we get into the movie, do we have any reads today? Do we have any rap reads for the people today?
Well, for anybody, I tailored my rap reads around, folks that might be seeing the movie and might be like new getting into the mythos, kind of. So, for Ninja Turtle vets, I'm not gonna go ahead and recommend the obvious. I'm not gonna talk too much about Last Ronin. That's a big topic of conversation around these type of nerd circles, right? Let that be as it may. That's really great stuff. But there's probably a million other podcasts out there that are talking about Last Ronin right now. There's a video game coming out. I'm pretty sure they're going to do like some type of animated, straight to digital John or something. What they should do is make a live action movie, but that's neither here nor there. I want to keep it brief, to the point. I got 3 reads for you. And in these 3 reads, it's essentially, 3 different versions of the Ninja Turtles that I want you guys to experience.
I love it already.
Every time we get a new comic, a new cartoon, a new movie, it's a different iteration. It's a different telling of the Turtles story. The Turtles have, as far as anything that I love, the Turtles have been rebooted more times than anything else.
Easily.
Because when there's, like I said, when there's a new form of Ninja Turtles media, that becomes then its own canon, its own mythos that is different from the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So there are so many different versions of the origin story, for example, because every time there's a new cartoon, every time there's a new movie, every time there's a new comic, we get a retelling of the origin in some way. So, all that is to say, I want to share with you guys my 3 most favoritists. Cowabunga Nation. Do you need some of your special alkaline water, bro?
Oh no, I'm good now. I was drinking out my amazing Spider-Man collectible glass, and
oh shit,
little bit of this light sky blue moon, and
Woo!
as mom would say, it went down the wrong pipe.
Kick back.
But I hit that mute button real quick because I had the tears streaming down my eyes.
I'm sorry. I was sorry. I was like, is my co-host going to die?
But no, folks, I am, but not anytime soon. I got at least another 15, 20 days at least. So I'm as I go in for more.
So here we go. And I want you to remind me at the end of my spiel here that I have a tagline about Baxter Stockman.
Okay.
And I just want to go into Baxter Stockman a little bit. But 3 reads for you guys. 3 reads. Reads number 1. I want everybody to, first of all, and we're going to skip the basics. I'm not going to go back and tell you read the original Eastman and Laird comic. Like, do that. Yes. Read everything you can Ninja Turtles. That's my recommendation. Buy everything you can that says Ninja Turtles. Read everything that you watch the first episode of the most recent season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia when Charlie gets wrapped up in a money scheme and buys fucking Ninja Turtles pies. Like, he buys like a vintage Ninja Turtles
the hostess pies
that they actually made.
Yes, I had them. They had like the ooze and green ooze and
yes, they have greens. And so the plot of one of the first episodes is that he has like a whole money scheme around these pies, and he like I forget what he sells. I don't know, maybe like a portion of the bar or something to like invest in these pies. And then he like to prove to these guys that it's worth something, he like opens it up and starts eating one of them. He's like, wah, wah. It's so nasty, but
they have to be 30 years old because I was a child,
dude. This shit's hilarious, dude. They look so, when he takes it out of the package, it looks so gnarly. And I think he might have actually just like bit it. Like I think those were actual Ninja Turtles pies. And I think Charlie might have actually just like bit into one of those for the sake of the episode. But that shit was, so there's turtle references everywhere, man. Turtles is huge right now in culture. I read somewhere recently, it was an Instagram post because it's where I get most of my news from. So I'm not sure if I know if it's real or not at all. But I did read that there was over $1 billion in Ninja Turtles merchandise sold over the last year.
I can believe that. I mean, you probably put 400 million out of the billion yourself, so I could definitely believe it.
Bro, I could show everybody the shelf behind me, bro. Just the shelf behind me. But nevertheless, Turtles is huge, huger than ever. I don't know why. It's a nostalgia culture is a pretty big thing, but the Turtles are also just like it's nonsensical to anybody who hasn't delved in, right? If you just explain the concept to some people, it is just straight fucking Dr. Seuss.
Well, just the name.
Nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Yeah, but you put the 4 names together, you're like Teenage Mutant Ninjas and Turtles. Like, none of that.
And they're all randomly named after Renaissance artists, and their dad is a rat master and stuff. Like, just try to explain it to somebody who hasn't had any association with it. They're like, what? But like, to me, being born in 1985, a year after the Turtles were born, it just seemed like normal shenanigans.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s was a weird time. Like, I'm a tad older. I was born in 1980, and but still around the same age group where we were watching a lot of the same things. And I mean, Ninja Turtles. Then they tried to do the ripoff Battletoads, and then you had so many Street Sharks, which was my least favorite of all of them. And then I will say Battle Cats, where they, it's an anamorphic creature, and you put them in some type of warlike situation. And Hollywood, if one is Coke, they're gonna need a Pepsi, they're gonna need an RC Cola, they're gonna need store brand cola. There's gonna be a knockoff version. But the Ninja Turtles, to me, was just near and dear to my heart. And I fortunately got the comics later. Because obviously I was introduced via the cartoon. Then I got the old black and white comics later, and I was like, oh, this is dark. Ninja Turtles is very much like Batman. It's the only one where you can go super campy and you can go super serious and super dark, and they both work. It's like the only two comics that like you can go through both ends of the spectrum and all is acceptable. Like I've been watching the Harley Quinn cartoon a lot lately, and I love that cartoon, and it's still like super awesome. But it makes Batman, Bruce Wayne, who's one of my favorite characters, look absolutely ridiculous. But it still works because you're like, dude, this dude dresses like a bat. Like they kind of even touched on it in the Flash, not to be all over the place, but he was like, if I really wanted to stop crime, maybe I should donate some money, or maybe I should, give some of these billions of dollars away instead of like beating drug dealers up. But it just works. It works.
Yeah, but none of those 90s anthropomorphic characters stood the test of time like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles do. And because the reason is because this is what my fiance experienced when we went to go see the movie on Saturday, was that like there's a lot of real great character development, a lot of real great storytelling, and you can just tell, very much like Stan Lee behind Spider-Man, you can tell that there was a lot of heart put into this creation. So, kudos to the original creators, kudos to Eastman and Laird. Kevin Eastman, he's still doing his thing on it, man. He's still putting his spin on the comics, and Last Ronin is mainly his idea and stuff. It's all he's still going in with it. So, but salute to the creators, and thank you for basically kicking off my my science fiction brain cells, or whatever you want to call it. This was the beginning of my love for superheroes and everything of that nature. So my reads, first off, read number one, I want everybody to read what is now referred to as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends. Urban Legends is also, I think, is like volume 3 or volume 4 of the Mirage comic, but this was an Image publication. It was a mid-90s Image publication. So you already know it's just going to be fucking insane, and the art is going to be over the top, and maybe even a little extra graphic, because that's what the Image folks of the day were doing. Eric Larson did a lot of the art, so it's really cool, like cool drawing. If you ever liked Savage Dragon, you know what I mean. If you ever read the Revenge of the Sinister Six, or what was it, the Return of the Sinister Six, Revenge of the Sinister Six, there's so many returns and revenges. It was Return of the Sinister Six, Return of the Sinister Six, written by Eric Larson, drawn by Eric Larson in the 90s Spider-Man after he took over for Todd McFarlane. But I digress. Read Urban Legends. It's fucking insane. It starts with the Turtles in the lair celebrating their birthday. Like literally the first page is they're bringing out a cake and they're all wearing like party hats and like super happy. And they're like, woo, happy birthday to us. And then they get bushwhacked by some fucking crazy cyborg assassins out of the blue. Just like second page, just like poof, a guy like rolls up and poof, right in Raphael's face, man. Half his face is blown off from the fucking second page. And then it goes from there. They try to capture Donatello, and they're on a helicopter, and he's fighting them on the helicopter, and he falls out of the helicopter with one of the cyborg assassin dudes and like defeats him midair, but then realizes, oh fuck, I'm falling to my doom, and literally just slams into the pavement like this. And then he's like, I can't feel anything. And like, so he's like paralyzed. And then the fucking cyborg that died turns into like an alien symbiote kind of thing and goes over and bonds with him. And then he becomes like a cyborg RoboCop turtle.
I love it. Perfect, because he's a tech genius. So
yes. And so like and so his thing in the series is like, you know, how he bonds with this thing and figures out how it works and all of that. Raph, with half of his face blown off, he eventually goes, and so at this point in the original Turtles comic chronology, Shredder has long been killed.
Right.
At some point during this series, Raph finds first of all, he starts wearing Casey Jones's mask.
Right.
Casey gets a new mask, which is an American flag. Actually, I have the figure. I don't know if this is going to show up because the stupid background shit makes it like.
Oh, we can see it. No, it's patriotic Casey.
So yeah, this is the Eric Larson version of Casey Jones, folks. This is a figure from. I'm a bit, you know, Marz said I'm a huge turtle fan, and I'm a big collector of turtle figures. This is a newer line that I actually just started collecting. It's called The Loyal Subjects. Is the name of the brand. The Loyal Subjects from Best Action, and it's like they're somewhat simplified molds, but highly articulate. Nice. Like the figure, like he has like more, you know, more articulation in the joints and anything than like a lot of figures, but also it's like, you know, he's kind of a basic figure,
right?
So it's fun. But this is the only one that I've found that is from that line, like from that comic yet. And you know, I love me some Casey Jones. So, and he has like the I don't even know. See, he got the nail bat. He rocked the nail bat. He ain't playing. So
real ECW vibes right there. I love it.
Yeah. So Casey dons this mask, and because Raphael is fucked up, he gives Raph his like original hockey mask.
Right.
So the Turtles are like, so there's Raph, there's Donnie, and then shortly after, Leonardo.
Oh, We lost Raps for a second, but he'll be logging in a few minutes. So we're gonna take a quick break. I want you guys to grab your popcorn, grab your Ninja Turtle pies, and we'll be back right after this brief message. We're back. I hope you enjoyed your Coca-Cola or whatever beverage you enjoy. We're not sponsored by Coca-Cola, so whatever the hell you're drinking. But we did a little edit. It's actually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legends Volume 1 and 2, not 3 and 4. But go ahead and continue with that comic book and let the people know what else is included in that.
As comic book numbering can often be very confusing these days.
Agreed.
And you know, it's just constant reboots and everything. So it was, I think it was, that's what I'm saying. I can't remember if it was volume 3 or volume 4 of like the original Eastman and Laird run, right? Like
Right.
the Mirage, we call it the Mirage Studios Turtles. That's that version, right? That started back in the 1980s with the original black and white comics. So that story progressed, and eventually, by like like I said, the 3rd or 4th volume of the comic ended up in the hands of Image Comics. And so this, what is known as Urban Legends, is the Image run. But if you have knowledge of the original Eastman and Laird comics, that's this same story.
Yeah.
And they just take it completely off the fucking rails. And so, like I said, we got Donnie, we got Cyborg Donnie, we got Raph with his face blown off. First, Casey Jones loans him his mask, right? Then, at some point, randomly during a battle or something, he finds one of Shredder's like safe
costumes.
Basically, he finds like a Shredder fucking lair with like Shredder gear and Shredder's costume. And so he dons Shredder's costume and he goes to the Foot Clan and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "I'm the fucking Shredder. I'm your master, bitches." And then he takes over the Foot Clan like that.
I love it.
And just starts leading them. And they're like, "Yep, I mean, he's the Shredder. He's back.
He's green. He's a 6-foot turtle, but
well, he'll fuck you up. Don't fuck with him." So yeah, so that's what happens to Raph. And then Leo at one point, like, fights a giant sewer monster, gets his hand bitten off. And so eventually it grows back because, reptiles and amphibians. It grows back and he discovers that they have the power to do that. He's like, "Oh, well, thank God." But while his hand is missing, he just replaces it with like instead of a Captain Hook John, he has a Captain Katana John. And so he's just rocking his sword and then his
sword hand.
Mikey is the only one who doesn't get fucked up. he goes and publishes a book. He becomes a writer and publishes a book like through April.
I love it.
Ghost writes the book through April, and then the rest of them have been like mutilated and shit. But Mikey's cool at the end.
He's always the last survivor, man. He's a party dude, as the theme song says.
That's why he becomes the last Ronin, you know what I mean?
Last Ronin. Spoiler alert, if you guys didn't know that.
And, if you haven't read the first issue of Last Ronin, I'm sorry.
We apologize.
And, you should probably kill me if you see me. But
or don't. Definitely don't do it.
My second recommendation is that you are going to go to the IDW website. Don't try to look for these shits anywhere else because they're going to be expensive for no reason. Which I don't understand. People don't realize that like websites for actual companies exist. But if you go to Amazon and eBay and try to find this shit, it's going to appear to be out of print and all that. You go to IDW's website, they got all this shit in print. They reprinted the Archie Comics Adventures. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. And this was that before I even, I grew up with the original action figures. I grew up with the cartoon, the movie. I was a person that like after that was like, oh wait, there's a black and white comic where they're like actually like cutting people and stuff. And so I went back and read that. I was like, oh, but that was even after like my introduction to Turtles in comic book format was the Archie published by Archie Comics, which this is the very best thing that Archie Comics ever fucking did, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. It originally starts out as a complete translation, like screen to page adaptation of the cartoon. After 4 issues in of adapting the cartoon into a comic, so you're just literally reading the cartoon if you haven't seen the cartoon, I guess, which I always thought was a real fucking lame idea, but like you're just reading it. Then they got a writer, an actual writer, D.E.N. And D.E.N. has created within that series created some of the coolest fucking characters in the Ninja Turtles mythos. They are characters that have been, rebooted into different iterations later. They're characters. A lot of his characters are characters that are showing up in the current IDW series. And it just made me fall in love with the Turtles all the more because it takes all of the superhero, the superhero comic book tropes and, lets the Turtles experience that. They go to outer space.
Right.
They time travel. They do like all the shit that like the X-Men or the Fantastic Four would do within the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adventures. And it's completely original stories. Some of the characters in here have not existed on film or television or in any other format than comic books, which makes it super cool. They literally just like started making some of them into action figures, and I'm like,
right.
I'm like, just I'm beyond overjoyed about that. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, get yourself some trades. You can start with Volume 3. I would say because Volume 1 is just like I said, it's the complete adaptations. They do the Incredible Shrinking Turtles is the main story in that one, and they completely adapt it from the cartoon.
Right.
And then Volume 2 is when they, D.E.N. got started, but he still was like he started them out on like small adventures, and he introduced a couple characters. He introduces like Worm and Scumbug and a couple characters that we like really love as action figures. But then by the third trade, they're going to outer space. They're doing all this crazy shit. So check out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. And I'm going to tell you Volume 3. And just keep on going. Just keep on going. I think there's like 16 volumes. They're small trades.
Right.
There's like 16. The only tragic thing about this series is that it didn't have a real ending because it got canceled. And the penciler, whose name escapes me right now, you guys can look it up. But the penciler of the series actually did a unlicensed finishing of the story where he published the final I think the final like 4 issues or the final 5 issues of the comic. And I got an epic story about that, man, where I got like banned from eBay because I had to
remember you were hunting them down and
bro, I had to order these shits I haven't even read them yet because I'm afraid to touch them, bro. I had to order these shits from a dude in Russia. They're ash can versions, which means it's just the pencils and
Right.
words, right? And I ordered them from this dude in Russia, and they didn't come. I got banned from my eBay account because I was ordering shit from Russia in like
Yeah, they
2020.
thought you were enemy of the
2021,
state
I was
number
ordering
one.
from Russia, bro. Like I felt like I was getting some contraband, man. But this is like the only person that had these on eBay, right? So I ordered them, and they didn't come. So I started badgering him for a refund, and he's like, "Come on, man, you gotta like just give it. Can you give it another week, please?" So I did, but I was like, by this point, it was already a month late.
Right.
And I was like, look, I gave it some time because I understand like customs and all that. But like,
Right.
did you actually send me these like non-licensed Ninja Turtle comics that seem to be like possibly bogus? He sends me a refund. A month later, these shits actually come, bro. They're real as shit, bro. And I haven't read, like, I like opened them to like flip through them to like just like get a glimpse, right? The number of like the copy is handwritten inside the cover, bro. Like in marker.
Sweet.
It's like it's printed. It says you have the blank copy of this book.
Nice.
The 90th copy, and it has it like written in there. Like, dude, this is like the craziest, like most rarest bootleg thing I ever fucking came across. So I just like packaged them and stashed them. I haven't touched them, and I still like, I want to read them, but I don't even want to touch them, kind of thing. And then also, I thought I was ordering what I ordered. Like it was 4 issues, so I thought I was ordering the rest of the series, right?
Right.
But apparently, there's a big finale issue after that, which only this fucking guy in Russia.
I might have to order him for you, bro, because he's probably like, not this rap.
Because he's like not John Smith from New Jersey, man.
Yeah, he's like, you're not getting a damn thing from me.
Yeah, man. I need to refund me like 70 something bucks, man. It's whatever it was I paid for them shits, bro. So I want to get that last. It's been a couple years. I still want to try to get the final issue, but I'm gonna read it first. I'm gonna read what I
That's
have.
what you do, bro. You take pictures of it, and then you can read it, and just slightly handle, take a picture of the page, and then you'll have it, and then you won't have to touch it. Wise advice.
But that's my crazy story of how I procured the
Rare.
what do you call it? The unofficial final issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, because the story didn't officially end. It actually the last story that they actually published is very much it was depressing. It was depressing. And when I never read that ending as a kid. I went when IDW republished it, that's when I finally got to get the whole story.
Right.
And in the comics, Raphael has a girlfriend named Katara, and she's a fox. She's a ninja fox from Japan. And
what's the logistics of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I forget like how she got mutated or whatever it might be. Because there's other things that happen in that comic that are like of a mystical nature too. So not every anthropomorphic animal creature is of mutant creation. Although I think she was, but I forget why. But anyways, they go on like a mission to Japan, and she's taken back to her home village Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's not. She's not a mutant because they're all like fox people.
Oh, okay.
She's like from like a whole like clan of fox people. I forget like what they, how they came to be or whatever it is. But she's like the whole village of fox people, and she's like reunited with her fox people for the first time since she's been running around with the tarts, and then like she like has like a rekindled love with like a childhood fox dude, and at the end she just decides to stay there with them, and Raphael like cries, and that's the end of that series because it just like didn't finish it.
That's
So, but it's really fucking
bummed
crazy.
me out.
Really fucking crazy, and it introduces the best. The best thing is Cuddly the Cowlick, which is a flying cow head that can traverse through space and time at incredible speeds. So for all of their outer space adventures, this gigantic dismembered cow head shows up. And he's like, "Hey guys, jump in." And they like literally get in his mouth, and he just flies them to Dimension X or wherever it is they gotta go, spits them out, and they're like, "Oh, that was gross, never again." And then the next time they have to go time travel or whatever, they're like, "Cuddly," and he's like, "What's up, turtle friends?" I can't wait till they make that action figure.
Right. And you can store the turtle. They should make it like the old Castle Grayskulls, and then you can put the turtles inside of it. That would be genius.
And then Rap, read number 3 real quick. Is I want you all to read the IDW the IDW Ultimate Collection number 1, or the first volume of the IDW collection, if you can get your hands on it. And again, this is another thing where I'm telling you, you're probably going to just want to keep reading. But start with that first volume because it's really worth it. It's the best retelling of the Turtles' origin ever. It's the best. I think it's better than the original telling of the Turtles' origin. This is where, I've talked about it in past shows, so I don't want to get too deep into it. I've already harped a lot about, obscure turtle knowledge throughout the evening, but the thing that this book has going for it is the whole reincarnation and the mystic aspect of it, the mystical aspect that ties into the scientific, which is it's something that's really it's been done in recent years and recent decades, and other popular hero comics, with Amazing Spider-Man, and that he learned at the turn of the century when J. Michael Straczynski was writing. He learned that there was like a whole mystical aspect to like the spider symbol, and
it was spider totems and Madam Web,
and Moreland, where he meets
Moreland,
who is the vampire, and then it leads into Spider-Verse and all that bullshit. And then Hulk, recently with the Immortal Hulk,
right?
We learned that Hulk is immortal because when he goes into the afterlife, there's the green door,
right?
And everybody with gamma radiation walks back through the green door. So the turtles have this kind of this spiritual thing going on where they have been reincarnated from feudal Japan by and Shredder essentially is a reincarnation too in this story, where he's been like resurrected, right? So they're all people that were like lived hundreds of years ago and were killed and now are like brought back to life now. So the first volume of the most recent Turtles comic, which is, they're going on like they're well past 150 issues now. But at the beginning, it's a great especially since we're experiencing the movie, which is them experiencing being heroes for the first time. This comic is very much the same vibe, where it's, you know, it's more explicit, it's
Right.
darker, it's more comic booky, but it's, you know, same vibe. It's the turtles experiencing being the turtles for the first time. And there's some interesting differences in this mythos where they, you know, with comics we can really get into a lot of nuance. So, you know, one of the nuances and the very first story arc is their first mission in most iterations of the comic is to kill Shredder. The original iteration, their first mission, the only thing that Splinter ever trained them for was to kill Shredder.
Right.
In this iteration, the first thing that Splinter is training them for is to find their brother Raphael, who was separated from them when they fell into the ooze by an alley cat. Because an alley cat literally like ran up on them and grabbed Raphael and like ran away with him. And so they both mutated, and Old Hob is another like kind of bad guy slash good, you know, like an anti-hero that
Right.
develops throughout the story as well. He's just a cat that wears a trench coat, and he's got an eye patch because Splinter fucked his eye up when he came and bit Raphael.
Right.
Little Splinter in rat form was like, but yeah, no, to me, that's the best origin of the story. They all, you know, not only did they mutate, but they were reincarnations,
Right.
of people that lived long ago, and it's not something that they all remember in an immediate way either. And that's the other very interesting thing. They don't all actually like remember that happened. And so, you know, some of them start experiencing things that remind them of that. Donatello, being the scientist, is the most skeptical of any of that. And then at this point in the comic, he is now like the Doctor Strange of the group. He is the most tapped into the mystical world because he experienced death. He met his mother while he was dead. He met their mother from feudal Japan. He came back from the dead. He's like super tapped into the afterlife, and now he's like started training himself as a magician and stuff. It's very, it goes places where you really don't think the turtles would go. Very much like the urban legends I described, very much like the adventures that I described. That's the thing. It goes so much further than cartoons, folks. It goes so much further than cartoons. It goes so much further than the movies. But I think what I love the most about this movie is that the movie shows you how much further it can go.
Yeah.
It has a huge cast of all kind of cool characters. Some of them are deep cuts, you know. Cynthia Utrom.
Yes.
Is that her name? The bad guy, Cynthia Utrom.
Yeah, Utrom. I think you're pronouncing that right. I'm gonna go with your
Utrom. I think they call it Utrom. Utrom. I've said Utrom for a very long time. The Utroms are Krang species.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Utrom. I'm gonna go with Utrom.
Yeah, Utroms are Krang species, the brain people.
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know, that bitch is Krang. That bitch is Krang, bro.
And so that's a perfect transition to Mutant Mayhem, man. Before we even get into it, man, first, I gotta know. I've been waiting to talk to you about this, and I said I'll save it for the show so we don't waste any of the goods. What did you think about it, and what do you think was the dope of the movie? Because, like you mentioned, it had a hellacious cast. Shout out to Seth Rogen and his team. You know, he's one of my favorite creators, has been now for a decade or more. And you could tell that it was very important to him to do justice to the character, unlike, you know, some other directors, Michael Bay, He really had a understanding of the characters, and like you said, he had some deep ass cuts, man. And then the cast alone, these are just some of the names that they had. And accidentally unplugged my camera, but you can still hear me, right?
I can hear you, and I can see a beautiful avatar.
There we go. All right, we're back. You can see the Iron Man in the back now, but background's gone for a moment. But yeah, I mean, Jackie Chan, John Cena, Seth Rogen himself is Bebop, Ice Cube, Post Malone, Rose Byrne, Paul Rudd, Hannibal Buress, my favorite bad guy, Giancarlo Esposito is Stockman. Like, he pulled out the big guns for this. But what do you think was the dope part about this movie, bro?
It had a lot of heart, man. I think what you said, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that it was, you could tell that it was important to the filmmakers to do the source material justice, to do justice to this franchise, this mythos that, means so much to so many dudes of our age, and younger generations too. I mean, it's just fucking great characters. So, I mean, honestly, to me, it was just like the whole thing. It just had a lot of heart.
Yeah.
It was, it was very relatable. It was the animation was amazing. It was good family fun. It was the soundtrack got me choked up at a couple parts just because it was like, wow, like I didn't actually think I would ever, like Ninja Turtles and like, no, I mean, it's not ninja rap. It's fucking, it's real rap behind this. You know what I mean? And when they started playing Shimmy Shimmy, Shivani was like, this is inappropriate. Because they're like beating people.
It was so New York. It was so New York. You know what I mean? Like you said, it was the perfect merger of Ninja Turtles, which is late 80s, 90s, the perfect merger of 80s, 90s hip hop, the references. It was so New York. I mean, it was a love letter to a lot of elements beyond just the Ninja Turtles. And you can tell that, like, it's like if someone gave us the creative rings to a Marvel movie or a DC movie or Ninja Turtles, like, this is what I want. Even the designs of the character, in the original cartoon that we grew up, everybody was the same beside a color swap. Yep. And it's just kind of been recently where they've given the turtles different shapes, different heights, different weights, different sizes. It was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, I mean that's I can't get a whole lot into it just because I was just really there enjoying myself. You know what I mean?
Same.
Now this was the thing that I said I had a tagline about Baxter Stockman.
Yes.
And this is my beef, which was actually not. This is not a problem with the movie because Ice Cube's character was fucking awesome. Superfly's character.
Superfly, yeah.
Great character. Why is it that in the really the original cartoon, it doesn't happen in any of the other comics or any of the movies or anything like that. But in the original cartoon, Baxter Stockman turns into a fly.
Right. Baxter the Fly.
Like, in the Mad video games, we fight him as the Fly and stuff like that. But in the current comics, he never turns into a fly. He builds fly Borgs.
Right.
Or like little like their addition to his, like, he's got his mousers on the land, but he's got fly Borgs, which are like his little like mutant fly cyborgs things, which I think is absolutely what inspired Superfly. Like that baby Superfly is what
Yeah.
those look like in the comics. So I think that's absolutely what inspired it. And there is that whole they're using the whole fly theme there, but like I just don't understand why they don't just make Baxter be the fly. Why was Baxter not the Superfly? You know what I mean?
I
Big deal. It doesn't matter to me because the story was still good,
it was still dope. Yeah.
It works better in that he was a creation for this story. But I'm just saying, I don't understand why that's like, again, Baxter Stockman was a character in
The original cartoon.
but no, he was Tyler Perry played him in the second John of the last
Michael Bay one.
Yeah. So but like he didn't turn into no fly there, nothing. Like they never have him turn into a fly unless.
So I think, and it's funny that you mentioned that because when I saw that, and I was like, oh, Giancarlo's going to be Baxter Stockman. I'm assuming Baxter the Fly as well, so I'm waiting to see this, and then it didn't happen. But I'm thinking maybe they decided it might be too many mutants. You got your Bebop, you got your Rocksteady, you got all these other characters, and maybe they want to just leave him as the evil genius versus also, or maybe they're saving it for the future. But that's interesting. That's probably the only thing that I would put as somewhat whack because I grew up like you knowing Baxter the Fly. That's who he was. He mutated. He was only human for a very short period, and what I grew up, and then he was a fly.
But in the current comics,
he's
the mayor of New York City.
Right.
In the current comics, he's actually like the Lex Luthor type bad guy.
And I think that's what they wanted to do, give him a reoccurring villain role versus just a fly that gets his ass kicked, make him a big bad, because for so long it was just Shredder, just Krang, and this gives him an opportunity to make another supervillain. So that's probably the only reason they may have done that, but that's really the only somewhat whack element of the movie. Other than that, and I can't even say it's whack because, like you said, the story was still amazing.
Well, Superfly ended up being a dope character, man. And
he did. And if you have an opportunity to put Ice Cube in your movie, Ice Cube,
I know I will.
Yeah, it's not to say that he's typecast, but I've never seen him play a genius scientist. It's not believable. So having him as Superfly, though, I definitely believe that makes sense. So that's super dope. Anything else that you felt was whack about the movie besides Baxter?
There was nothing even. I wouldn't even say it was whack. It was just that's the only thing that I kind of noticed is it's like they continuously not have Baxter Stockman turn into the Fly anymore since he's not. I don't know. He's like a menacing black dude now. But before he was like Carrot Top.
Right.
So Carrot Top could turn into the Fly, but
which is kind of
I imagine in a live like the comic book Baxter Stockman right now. I imagine not Tyler Perry. Like Tyler Perry's the funny version. Like I imagine it being like Jeffrey Wright. If we were going to take it serious,
my doppelganger,
he would be Baxter Stockman. He would just be like, "Yes, Shredder.
I have an idea.
I'll do what you say for now, until I fuck your whole world."
And then Shredder's like, "Did you say for now, mother?" Now we always do it. We always do the good, the whack, and the busted. I don't think there was anything busted about this movie. I think it was a love letter to all things hip hop, all things 90s, all things amazing. It's rare. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't think we're alone in this. It's universally acclaimed and loved. I'm hoping. I don't know what it's doing in the box office. When I went, was it crowded when you went?
I mean, not because I went later,
Right.
the run. We just went to see it, but it was a Sunday matinee, and I mean, there was a decent amount of kids there. There were people there with their families.
I'm checking out the box office now to give an idea because you remember Nickelodeon remade the Turtles about maybe 8 years ago or so, and I like that
Yeah,
one.
I won.
I like that one, but it didn't get a sequel. So I'm seeing how much this one made. Nah, I can't find it.
Oh yeah, no, you were talking about the movie, the TMNT, the movie
TMNT, yeah,
TMNT. Yeah, that movie was dope.
it was dope, and I was
The movie
hoping
was
we would
dope.
get a
It
sequel to
followed
that.
the chronology of the live action movies, if you recall.
Yes, yes, it
It was
did.
like they had already defeated Shredder; he was dead. New bad guy voiced by Patrick Stewart.
Professor
They were
X.
fighting these crazy ass looking monsters.
So it's done well. It's over 118 million on a very moderate budget, so we'll probably get a sequel. I'm super stoked for that. I'm super to see what now. Would you like another movie, or would you like to take this team and make it into a show?
Well, what I read is that they are going to do a show, a 2D cartoon show for Paramount
Oh,
Plus
that
with the
makes sense.
same voice cast that will tell the the story between the movies. So
Nice,
they've
nice.
already got a second movie slated, and then they've got the Paramount Plus cartoon, which is going to be the ongoing cartoon series that happens between the movies. But it's supposed to be the same voice actors and everything.
Nice, nice. I know James Gunn is doing that with having the actors that play the live action is going to be doing all the animated as well. So I'm super stoked for that. I didn't know that. So that's a gem you dropped on me. But overall, man, we need a rating. Scale 1 to 10, one being what's the worst superhero movie I can think of? Then like Elektra. So one being an Elektra and 10 being like an Infinity War. Where are you putting this on this scale?
I'm gonna give it a 9, and it's
Nine.
only a 9 because what I want and what I will never get is a live action adult R-rated Ninja Turtles.
We have to make it, bro. We might have to make a bootleg one like the guy did that Spider-Man movie not too long ago. We might have to create one to show people what can be done.
Yeah, I love it being accessible for the whole family. I mean, that's superheroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Spider-Man wasn't accessible for the whole family. Like, that's why we like Spider-Verse. But then, like, look at No Way Home.
yeah. That was dark.
You can like they can make some cool live action turtle stuff. I mean, I think it's a good idea that they went back to the animated for this.
Yeah, I mean the budget goes crazy when you're doing live action and the special effects and you end up with I
And they
and
wouldn't do like a whole team of 20 mutants with fucking
yeah,
CGI and stuff. It just wouldn't even look cool.
and I personally like you. If you're gonna do it live action, I'm still guy in a suit, and it works for me. That was good. The CGI giant, like it wasn't bad. The Michael Bay versions, it wasn't awful. Although, like Megan, these guys are supposed to be teenagers, and April O'Neil is supposed to be roughly around the same age, and they had like 30-year-old, Megan Fox playing April O'Neil was super weird to me. She's hot, but
It did
still,
look. It looked like he was trying to recreate kind of like the Image Turtles or
yes,
something of that effect. Like he was trying to recreate like 90s like Image.
yes,
They all look like they could have been part of X Force. They all look like they work for cable. They're like,
yeah,
we got a mad fucking utility shits on our utility belts and all the shits. Like, I bet
right,
you they had fucking like, I bet you if you you had them turn around, you could pop their shell open and just find mad compartments. They were those action figures personified. Like,
if anybody has an amphibian, don't pop the shell open. It will kill them. Don't pop the shell open. But yes, yeah, he was doing a bit much. Definitely, you know, I appreciated him putting like the turtle van and those cool things in there. But it was just, I couldn't get over how scary Raphael looked. I was like, you know, I used to grow up like, man, if I met a Ninja Turtle, I'd be a best friend. But if I saw that Michael Bay Raphael, I'm like,
I'd run and hide.
I'm like, burn that thing with fire. This shit's horrifying.
Now they were both different directors. Michael Bay didn't direct them. He produced.
No, he was executive producer.
Both different directors. The second one was much better than the first one.
Much better, significantly better.
The second one was much better than the first one. We got Bebop, we got Rocksteady, we got Krang. Characters I never thought I would see in a live action movie.
Right.
And I was actually happy with those interpretations.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was able to go back and watch the first one with a little bit more of
appreciation,
of an open eye and appreciate. Like if I was to watch it now, I would appreciate it more than I did when I was sitting in the theater being like, the fuck is the Foot Clan a bunch of fucking, why is the Foot Clan a SWAT team?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
a lot of things.
But I don't know, man. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it now.
I almost watched it before I watched this one, but I didn't. I wanted to go in there with a clear.
The only one I can't make it through, the only full-length Turtles movie I can't make it through.
Turtles in Time.
Again, yes. Ninja Turtles 3. It's so bad.
It's really bad. I don't even. I look at that like X-Men: The Last Stand. Like it didn't happen. It got erased out of my psyche.
So I have a dude that works with me that, you know, I don't go to Comic-Cons because I don't want to go broke.
Right.
So I had a dude last year that went to Comic-Con, got me like all the Turtles exclusive stuff. You know, of course I I Venmo'd him and he brought me back what I got, the Super 7 brand Muckman. It was a Super 7 Ultimate Muckman. So it's like they use the original molds of the Playmates figures, but they like make it in more detail with like cooler accessories and
nice.
It's the figures that we actually want. You know what I mean? Like with the opposability and stuff. It's like, oh, this looks as crazy and cool as it did, but also does everything that I want it to. But so you got me that, and then NECA did a 4-pack for the Coming Out of a Shell, the fucking live rock show Turtles. So I was like, yeah, get me those. It was the Comic-Con exclusive 4-pack. So he picked me up those, and then this year they're doing the fucking they're doing the Turtles in Time 4-pack. Where they're samurais and stuff, and I'm like, the figures actually look fucking better.
Well, the figures look good. It was the movie which was
look better than the fucking puppets that they used in that fucking movie, man. Like, I don't know what was on the budget or what, but I'm like, he was like, do you want me to pick those up for you? I'm like, out of principle, probably no. Like, I just fucking hate that movie and the fact that it exists.
It's so funny. Somehow the YouTube algorithm got me on like I should have sent you like a mini story on Turtles in Time, and I was so horrified I couldn't turn away. It was like a train accident, and they were just talking about how the studio, they got more and more upset with the returns, so they cut the budget to like a quarter of what Turtles 2 was, and you get what you pay for. Sometimes you get what you pay for, unlike this awesome content, which is free to you people at home, which is awesome. But sometimes you get what you pay for, and you could tell like the costuming, it was just steamy
shit,
bowl of shit, just like ugh. But bro, we are out of time. Oh shit, we are out of time. So overall, Raps Reads, awesome, bro. I need y'all guys to check that out, please. It's gonna give you literally everything you need to step into this movie if you haven't watched it. It's definitely getting not to take the late Siskel and Ebert thing, is going to get 2 index fingers up. We're going to put that thing all the way to the sky. It was super dope. I recommend it. Raps recommend it. Before we go, brother, please let the people know where they can find you and anything you got going on, because he's more than just a comment head. He's the dopest MC in the game right now.
Oh, man,
Please.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. I've been kind of laying low, man. I ain't been pushing on my socials or nothing lately. I just, we got some stuff coming for you, though. We got some stuff coming.
Absolutely. You can
find logo with merch shop about to drop, but I'm a rapper, yo. I'm a rapper. The name is Johnny Raps. You can see it right there. Marz gracefully posted it. Check my stuff out. My most recent single, It's a Party, featuring Bizarre from the legendary D12.
It's still some summertime left, so if you haven't heard the summertime banger, download it. Make sure your party is fire. I'm going to be in Vegas very soon, and I'm definitely going to be pumping it all throughout the content. You can also check out the video. If you haven't checked out the video, go right on this page that you're looking. If you scroll down, you'll see DITD Radio, and the video's right there, and he gets all the credit for it. Best videos, best raps. It's an honor and privilege to work with this guy every time we go in studio and give you this, guys. And of course, you know who I am. You can find me on the IG machine at Marz_entertainment. We've got so much yummy content for you over at Marz Media. Of course, Unknown Comic Book Podcast. We've got Down in the Den. We've got a super dope episode up right now talking about the 50 years of hip hop that I wish I could have had Raps on, because I would have loved to have him up there for that. Maybe we'll do a part 3. We got the After Dark. We got the live streams. We got Off Punishment. We've got a lot of great shit for you. So I need y'all to do me a favor. Smash that like button, comment, subscribe. Please follow my man Raps on all his social media platforms. If you want that rugged, raw, hip-hop, bars, beats, everything, man. It's the total package. So I'm going to need y'all to do me a favor and run those streams up so he can make more hot rap shit and give y'all more dope videos and give you more.
And then if I make money off of it, I can buy more dope comics and read more dope comics and tell you more about dope comics. Think about
See
that.
how that works? See how that works? It's a transitional relationship. You give him money, he reads the comic books, he comes back and gives you the shit. So if you want more, you know what you got to do. And if you want to support me, if you go on the link, we've got Down in the Den merch. We got dope merch. We got sweatshirts. We got socks. We got baby things that baby wears. I don't know.
You got baby food?
Yeah, we got shit for the babies, man, because Marz loves the kids. Marz loves the kids. So we got stuff for the babies. They can be den mates too.
You inspired me, man. I need to get a Johnny Raps binky going.
Yeah, man. I think the kids need that, just with your face like, ah. And the kids just like, yeah. I love it. But for your boy Marz, for your boy Johnny Raps, we thank y'all for checking out another Southern episode of an Unknown Comic Book podcast. So it's the beer. I said Cod Pass podcast. We appreciate y'all. For Raps, for Marz, we out.
Raps.
Peace.